Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Here, we embrace true femininity. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update.
Growing up, I always knew I was different. While my friends were playing with dolls and dressing up in cute outfits, I found myself sneaking into my sister's closet to try on her clothes. I didn't understand why I felt more comfortable in a dress than in my own clothes. But as I got older, I realized that I was a crossdresser. I didn't fully embrace this part of myself until I turned 18 and moved away from my small town to the big city. I had always dreamed of living in a big city where I could be myself without judgment or fear. So when I got accepted into a university in the city, I jumped at the chance. It was a fresh start for me, a chance to finally explore my cross-dressing fantasies without anyone knowing who I truly was. One of my biggest fears was finding a job. Coming from a small town, I had never held a job before. But with my parents' financial support coming to an end, I knew it was time to face my fears and start looking for employment. With my limited experience, I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to find a job that would accept me for who I was. After weeks of searching and countless rejections, I landed an interview at a small boutique in the city. It was a clothing store that catered to a diverse clientele, and I saw many mannequins donning outfits that I could only dream of wearing. I knew this was my chance to finally embrace my cross-dressing self and hopefully get a job that would accept me for who I am. On the day of the interview, I put on my best suit, a wig, and a touch of makeup. I wanted to present myself as a professional, but still true to who I was. As I entered the store, I was greeted with welcoming smiles from the staff, and I felt an instant connection to the place. The manager, a middle-aged woman named Mrs. Nicole, welcomed me warmly and ushered me into her office. The interview went smoothly as we chatted about my previous experience, which was none, and my aspirations. But just as I was about to leave, Mrs. Nicole asked me a question that caught me off guard. "Do you have any special skills or interests?" She asked with a knowing smile. I hesitated, wondering if I should tell her the truth. But then I took a deep breath and with a shaky voice, I replied, "I am a crossdresser." To my surprise, Mrs. Nicole smiled and said, "That's wonderful. We appreciate diversity here at our store, and we love to see our employees express themselves without fear. As long as you can do the job, you're hired." I couldn't believe it. My first job interview and I got hired because of my cross-dressing. I left the store with the biggest smile on my face, feeling accepted and appreciated for who I truly am. Little did I know, this job was about to change my life in more ways than one. On my first day at work, I was nervous and excited. I arrived early and went to the fitting room to change into my female clothes, feeling more confident and comfortable than ever. Mrs. Nicole welcomed me with open arms, showing me around the store and introducing me to my co-workers. Everyone was so friendly and accepting, and I couldn't believe my luck in finding such an amazing job. As the days passed, I learned the ins and outs of working at the boutique. From styling customers to organizing the clothes, I loved every part of my job. But the best part was when I got to try on the clothes. Mrs. Nicole and my co-workers were always encouraging me to be myself and even gave me fashion tips. I felt like I was living a dream, and I couldn't thank them enough for accepting me and making me feel like a part of their family. One day, a new shipment of dresses arrived at the store, and Mrs. Nicole asked me to model them for the store's social media pages. I was hesitant at first, but with the encouragement of my co-workers, I agreed. We took photos of me in different outfits, and I felt like a model, something I had only dreamed of. The feedback from customers was overwhelming, with many praising the store for embracing diversity and featuring a crossdresser as a model. From that day on, I became known as the cross-dressing employee at the boutique, and I wore that title with pride. My co-workers and I held a fashion show, where I walked the runway confidently, wearing the most beautiful dresses and outfits. I never thought I would have the chance to live out my cross-dressing fantasies, but thanks to this job, I was able to do just that. But as much as I loved my job, there were moments that were challenging. Some customers would make rude comments or give me disapproving looks. However, my co-workers and Mrs. Nicole always had my back, and they never let these comments affect me. They reminded me that I was beautiful and that my happiness was all that mattered. Working at the boutique also opened doors for me that I never thought possible. I started attending fashion shows, and I even got recognized by a well-known designer in the city, who offered to design a custom dress for me. I couldn't believe how far I had come since my first day on the job. But more than anything, this job gave me the courage and confidence to fully embrace my cross-dressing identity. I no longer felt like I had to hide or be ashamed of who I was. I could express myself freely and without fear, and that was the most liberating feeling in the world. As I look back on my first job experience as a crossdresser, I realize how much it shaped me into the person I am today. It taught me to be proud of who I am, and that there is nothing wrong with expressing myself in the way that makes me happy. It also showed me the importance of acceptance and embracing diversity in the workplace. I am grateful to Mrs. Nicole, my co-workers, and the boutique for giving me the opportunity to be my authentic self and for all the amazing experiences and memories I gained from my first job. It will always hold a special place in my heart, and I will forever be grateful for the lessons and acceptance I received while working there.